Yes, but at this moment, I got to take care of the video feed. He can provide you later the feed so you can sign up.
Can I give you somebody to put
Give it to him, please, because I need to start talking. I got people watching. Ready, Professor?
Yeah.
Sit on the side. I'm live? Yeah, thank God I'm alive. Baruch Hashem. Thank God, Baruch Hashem. Good morning, Kahal Kadosh. Lighthouse Torah Project dedication of today לעילוי נשמת דבורה פייגה בת שמואל, אורה דבורה בת שמואל, לאה בת יוסף, and Esther רבקה בת אברהם. Additionally, this is sponsored לרפואה שלמה מנחם מנדל בן שרה בשה and Hannah בת שני. The iTorah.com sponsorship of today for the שידוכים of נחמדינה בת חנה בתיה, שרה פנינה בת צופי, אליהו חיים בן אסתר, and רחל פנינה בת ג'ני. Today, Friday, the 13th of Elul. I know it's Friday the 13th also. I know, Baruch Hashem. But for the Jewish people, you need to know that Friday the 13th on the English day, it's an unbelievable day. And I'll talk about it for a few moments. The 13th of Elul, Erev Shabbat Kodesh, Perashat Ki Teseh, Makam Saba. Today is also the Hilulah of the Ben Ish Hai, Rabbeinu Yosef Haim. I'll just show you the book cover that shows his face. This is the famous Ben Ish Hai that for generations the Jewish people utilized that as a source of halachic guidance, halachic rulings. So therefore, in his merit, we'll speak about him for a few moments and we'll learn maybe a few halachot from this week's Torah portion, and then we'll continue with our daily menu of Tomer Devorah. Baruch אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. The Ben Ish Hai really does not need my introduction. Many of us were raised with the Ben Ish Hai teachings and lessons, and I'm sure that thousands of Jewish people worldwide learn diligently Ben Ish Hai on a regular basis. But Ben Ish Hai is only one name of the books, of the many books that he wrote. He wrote Ben Ish Hail, Torah Pe'alim, Ben Ish Hail, and Ben Ish Hai, Mikavsiel, and many others in all areas of Torah. But one of the most popular books is the book that I just showed you, the topic of the name of the Ben Ish Hai. The Ben Ish Hai was born in Baghdad in the year 1832 and passed away in the year 1909. Did you know the Ben Ish Hai? Somebody who is over the age of 90, closer to 100, maybe saw him even. But obviously, that's a different topic altogether. So the Ben Ish Hai passed away 110 years ago. How the Ben Ish Hai was born? His father, Hacham Eliyahu, and his wife were married, but regretfully, they did not have children in the early stages of their life. Until one day, Hacham Yaakov Abu Hasira, Pituhe Hotam, the holy rabbi that is buried in Damanhur, in Egypt, blessed Rabbi Eliyahu and told him, you will be blessed with a son that is going to bring light to the world. The Ben Ish Hai became the successor of after his father's passing when he was very, very young. And one of the most famous things written about him was the Shabbat afternoon Torah class, which was approximately between 2 to 3 hours. And every member of the community came to listen to the great rabbi because he had a tremendous amount of eloquence and a vast Torah knowledge that everyone felt a magnetic attraction to the speeches and the Torah lessons of the great Ben Ish Hai, Zechuto Yagen Aleinu. The Ben Ish Hai visited Eretz Israel a few times. And in one of the visits, and again, go back 100 years ago, 110, 120 years ago, going to Israel, it was like that. What time the flight leaves, non-stop El Al. It was traveling from Baghdad to Eretz Israel. I don't know how many miles or kilometers are between these two countries, but it wasn't an overnight trip. It was days or even weeks of traveling. And in one of the trips, the Ben Ish Chai went to visit Kevarim. There is a concept in Judaism, the concept of visiting Kevarim. You heard me already talking how many places in the world did I go to, and I go to visit Tzaddikim, some of them known, some of them unknown, and people travel to the Ukraine to go to all of the Kivrei Tzaddikim. People travel to Bulgaria to visit the great Pele Yoez. People travel to Turkey to visit the great Rabbi Haim Palachi. People travel to Israel and they do a lot of Kivrei Tzaddikim. So the Ben Ish Chai did exactly the same thing. He went to visit the Kivrei Tzaddikim in the northern part of Israel. In the northern part, and I mean the Galil, Tzfat, Tiberias, Meron, these three locations are just those three locations. It took me with a car, this trip after Shavuot, 2.5 days with a car. And I know where the Kevarim are. So imagine yourself without GPS, on a donkey or on a horse. How long? So he comes suddenly, Amuka, I forgot to say, Rabbi Yonatan ben Uziel, and even though in the map they look to be close to each other, but you need to go through the mountains, and therefore that takes a very long time to get there, even by car. But he went to one of the Kevarim of Benayahu ben Yehoyada. Benayahu ben Yehoyada was a great person who lived in the time of Shlomo HaMelech. He was a great general in the army of Shlomo HaMelech. He was a huge Talmid Hacham in the time of Shlomo HaMelech. So when the Ben Ish Chai went to pray to the kever of Benayahu ben Yehoyada, he felt, he says, the Ben Ish Chai says, he felt a sudden awakening of his neshama. Sometimes you go to Kivrei Tzaddikim, right? And depends on your connection. Sometimes you feel a lot of excitement. Sometimes you come in, you pray, you say Tehillim, and you leave. The Ben Ish Chai says that he sensed on that day when he visited Benayahu ben Yehoyada that the neshama of Benayahu ben Yehoyada was connected to his neshama. After this fact, the Ben Ish Chai brought new books to the table. Benayahu ben Yehoyada, Mikavsiel, Rav Pe'alim, Ben Ish Chai. All these are Pesukim. And every one of these words is a different name of the book of the Ben Ish Chai. And guess what? This pasuk in the Tanakh is written in honor of Benayahu ben Yehoyada. This is the connection between the Ben Ish Chai and Benayahu ben Yehoyada. Now that you are listening, hold on, the Ben Ish Chai, Benayahu ben Yehoyada, the Ben Ish Chai born on a blessing of Rabbi Yaakov Abu Hasira from Pituhei Hotam Damanhur. So was the Ben Ish Chai a human or was the Ben Ish Chai a malach? I like to say both. Human because he was a human person. This is the face. And there are pictures of the Ben Ish Chai. Somebody shared with me an audio clip of an audio recorded in the time of the Ben Ish Chai. That's the same question I ask. I don't know. I cannot vouch for that. But they said, listen to the minute XYZ in this audio. Huh? Right, that's exactly what I'm referring to. That maybe it's the voice of the Ben Ish Chai in one of the songs. I'm not sure if it's one of the sons of the Selihot, Yashemai Bionecha, the way we sing it here. I'm not sure, but definitely the audio says, listen to this minute, you're going to hear the voice of the Ben Ish Chai in the choir. Is it true or not? Guess what? I don't need to have a video to connect and to believe who the great Ben Ish Chai was. So being today the day of the Hilula of the Saddiqim, which according to some opinions, the Hilula of a Saddiq, it's the birthday of the Neshama, so to speak. It's a very deep Kabbalistic concept. We'll save that for some other time. But it is appropriate to learn something written by whatever Saddiq we are remembering. Before I start with that, let's talk about the passing of the Ben Ish Hai. The Ben Ish Hai burial place, it's debatable. There is a debate where the Ben Ish Hai is actually buried. According to history, he passed away in Baghdad. He passed away in Iraq. But if you go to Har Zetim, to the Helka that is above the Ora Haim HaKadosh, the Ora Haim HaKadosh is in the lower part of the mountain. Ora Haim HaKadosh was in the time of the Baal Shem Tov. So we're talking about over 250 years ago, give or take. And the Ben Ish Hai was only 110. So if you walk in the upper part of the mountain, there is a matzeva. There is a stone attributed to the Ben Ish Hai. And there is a debate if the Ben Ish Hai actually is buried in Har Zetim or the Ben Ish Hai is actually buried in Baghdad. According to many Hachamim, the Ben Ish Hai passed away in Baghdad and was buried in Baghdad. And the Matzeva says, yes, that is correct. But later on, his body rolled down all the way till Har Zetim. Now, that's what the Matzeva states. And it says the source of the great Hacham who testifies on this matter. But it really, be'emet, it doesn't matter. Believe me, you can be in Miami and you are praying now in the kever of the Ben Ish Hai. Why? Because we're learning the Torah that the Ben Ish Hai wrote. And the Pasuk says in Shir HaShirim, Dovev Siftei Yeshenim. It says when a person talks and learns from Saddiqim, the lips of the Saddiqim, that's the meaning of the Pasuk, Dovev Siftei Yeshenim, from Shir HaShirim, the murmuring of the lips of the righteous. The same thing when we learn Tomer Devorah, or we quote from the Zohar, from the Gemara, from Rashi, from the Pelei Yoez, whichever book we learn on a public forum. Definitely we have other classes and we learn other topics, but definitely this is a great day to speak about it. Now, which topic does the Ben Ish Hai discovers in this week's Torah portion? From the Ben Ish Hai books, there are two topics that he discusses. One is treating and honoring rabbis. That's this week's topic. The other, we'll save that for some other time. But the other topic, and I think this is a topic that is relevant to all of us, is the topic of kosher money. The topic of business. That's simple. The parasha of today, let's talk about the parasha. If you look at the parasha towards the end of this week's Torah portion, parasha Ki Teseh, that contains, by the way, let me throw in a couple of facts on today's parasha. The parasha of today contains 73 mitzvot. 73 mitzvot are found in this week's Torah portion. Yani, more than 10% of the entire Sefer Torah's mitzvot are found in this week's parasha. The last, I shouldn't say the last, but towards the end of the parasha, and there are many famous mitzvot. I can throw in a couple on the table. For example, how to treat a captive of war, burial of people, the concept of helping people when it comes to help their animals to be able to walk and to carry properly, talks about how a man should dress like a man and a lady should dress like a lady and not reversing, God forbid, the way sometimes it happens and the way that the world of today is accepting the concept of sending away the mother birds, the building a fence to protect a person from dangers or remove any danger in the home, the concept of not mixing two animals to plow the field, a donkey and a horse, both of these animals are big, are heavy, but they have different characteristics. For example, the shor, the bull, right, is a very powerful and fast-moving animal. The donkey is very heavy and very slow-moving animal. When you put both of them together, you're causing pain and suffering to both of them. And the Gemara writes, Sa'ar ba'alei hayim mideoraita. To cause suffering to an animal is a Torah prohibition as well. These are also the prohibition of sha'atnes. Remember, we discussed inside the prohibition of a person wearing garments that contain a mixture of wool and linen. We discussed this topic of the past, why there is such a mitzvah. We'll discuss it Belineda some other time. The topic of marriage. How does a Jew get married? So it says you have to have chuppah, you have to have kiddushin, you have to have kosher witnesses. A case of a man accusing his wife falsely of inappropriate behavior. The concept of, in the event that husband and wife regretfully they have to get divorced, the husband must give a get. The topic of mamzerim, the topic of a person, Am Israel, not allowing to accept converts from Ammon and Moab, the two nations from history. Today we don't know who they are. The concept of purity, physical purity for the Kohanim, for the Leviim. Then he talks about the concept of hurting people, physically, financially, emotionally, etc. Not lending money with interest. The concept of not charging interest. The concept of a person fulfilling and keeping their commitments in the most appropriate fashion. A person not paying bribery. A person remarrying his original wife in the event that she was not married to someone else in between. The mitzvah of the husband making the wife happy. It's a Perash Pasuk in this week's Torah portion. And not only the first year. Okay? Continues. And it says, the concept of, that's what I'm looking for, and I want to go through all of them because, as I said before, 72. Okay, mitzvah number 72 of today's Torah portion. Mitzvah lo ta'aseh, a person cannot have in their possession any measuring tool that is not the emet. Let's say, for example, you go to the gas station anywhere in America. What do you see? You see Department of Professional Regulation sticker with a year and the date. What does it mean? They came to give the ashgaha that the gas nozzle, so to speak, is not releasing faster and charging more when really it's not delivering the same amount. Or let's say you have a scale, okay? Or you have a car. People used to play with the odometer. Remember reversing the numbers? Okay, now it's digital. But there are hackers that can do that for you. But don't tell me. Don't tell me. We don't want to know about it. Haz v'shalom. All these examples, right, it's a fraud. It's a fraud. It's an avon. It's a crime. It's definitely forbidden. What else is there? For example, selling jewelry, right? Gold field has 14 karat gold. Or selling something new when it's actually refurbished. All these examples is what the Torah of today says. In the olden days, usually people used to have like a tape, measuring tape, or they used to have a scale with a remember with the weights, right? So they used to take a weight, engrave, let's say 1 pound, but actually contains what? The concept of 1 pound engraved, but 15 ounces real weight. The person doesn't know. It says 1 pound is 1 pound. I remember many years ago that I was asked to get involved in a financial dispute between a buyer from Argentina, from South America, and a seller from the United States. The guy from Argentina thought that he was buying 50,000 meters of textile. The guy from New York shipped 50,000 yards of textiles. In Argentina, they never heard of inches or of feet, always the centimeter, the imperial measurement, centimeters, meters, kilometers, and the United States, inches, foot, mile, right, etc. A yard is shorter. Right, 91 centimeter equals the meter. You understand? So he says, if I buy a meter, 10%. If that 10% made a difference. If it's worth it for me to buy 50,000 in one shot in 2 containers, or I can buy it locally without having to worry of keeping the storage. And this was an interesting discussion, and both of them had valid points. So finally, they agreed to settle. And Baruch Hashem, that was a happy ending. But with this being said, the Ben Ish Hai, I'm not going to go through the entire introduction of the Ben Ish Hai. And I throw you already a few cases of money that really is earned by hurting people. God forbid. So the Ben Ish Hai says, in summary, many times a person wonders why I try to do things and I do things, but I don't really sense beracha. That's what the Ben Ish Hai asks. So it says, the pasuk, lo yeve kisecha even ba'aven gedola uktana, lo ye lecha bebetecha efa ve'efa gedola uktana. All these are the warnings from the Torah that a world of business must be transparent. Beautiful. It's not easy. But the Gemara says in Masechet Shabbat, nasata benatata ve'emunah. Literally means, nasata benatata, did you conduct in business, in the business world, with faithfulness? That is one literal explanation from the Gemara. The other explanation says, if the person developed their emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we need to know, emunah and business are connected. I didn't say bitachon. They both starts with a B. Business, bitachon, right? But emunah, this reminds me of a story brought down by the Me'am Lo'ez. And he says, 2 partners came to the great Rabbi, and they say, Rabbi, we are about to enter into a business partnership. We want a blessing for success. So the Rabbi looks at both of them, takes a piece of paper, and then he writes the following. Aleph, Bet, Gimal, Dalet. He says, if you fulfill these 4 things, you have great blessing. So the business partners ask the great Rabbi, we know how to read, Rabbi. What are you trying to say? He says, these 4 letters are the foundation of business. I'll explain. The Aleph stands for emunah. The Bet stands for beracha. Emunah, faith, beracha, blessing. The Gimal stands for gezel, stealing, robbery. And the Dalet stands for poverty. So the great Rabbi say, the more faithful you will be between you partners and to the employees and to the customers, you will be crowned with success. But if your goal in the world of business is, God forbid, to take advantage of people, you're digging, God forbid, your own hole. And the Ben Ish Hai says this, thank you so much, in the introduction of today's parasha. I'm going to illustrate one more. The pasuk says, the beracha that Yaakov Avinu received from Ishak his father. Many of us say this Mosai Shabbat. Veiten lecha haElokim mital hashamayim. Tal means what? Do. Tal means do. D-E-W. Blessing, constant. The tal, the do, comes down every day. If tal does not come down, all the green, all the vegetation, all the fruits, all the vegetables will have a great difficulty in development. So the dew is an early morning flow of blessing. But comes the Ben Ish Hai and it says, but if you reverse these 2 letters, instead of having tal, you have lat. Lat in Aramaic means a curse. God forbid. Now, I don't like to use this word, but I need to say it because of the learning. But you may say, Rabbi, What's so special about Tal? Tal, it comes the Ben Ish Hai and it says, numerical value 39. It's important to remember this number, the number 39. In our Torah, what do we have that represents the number 39? Wait. We'll get there later. 39 limitations of Shabbat. So we have Shabbat connected to the number 39. In the Halakha it's called 39 melachot of Shabbat. Google search. Shabbat prohibitions 39. What else we have in the number 39? 39 Malkut. You know what Malkut? Not kingdom. Malkut were the maximum amount of lashes that the Bedin was allowed to give when a person committed certain forbidden commandments. But that doesn't mean that everybody got this. The Gemara says that they will make an assessment if the person was able to go through this or not. But I'm only throwing you the number on the table. I need one more whiteboard, please. Thank you so much. You can erase all of those in the meantime. Let's see, how do I combine the number 39? There are many formulas, but we're going to do one that the Ben Ish Hai brings. 39 is the equal number of 3 times the number 13. 13, 13, 13. What is 13, the Ben Ish Hai says? Ahava. Love. Love. The love that a person has for a Kadosh Baruch Hu. How many different types of love the person has for God? Let's read together. The positive commandment of loving Hashem. Bechol levavecha, ubchol nafshecha, ubchol meodecha. You love your God with your heart, with your soul, and whatever you have. You have a voice, you sing. You have intelligence, you learn. You have a good handwriting, you write. In other words, there are many ways. The Pasuk says, Kaved et Hashem me'oncha. You want to honor God from your wealth. You have wealth that He doesn't have. And He has a wealth that you may not have. But it's not called a deficiency. This is how God made you. Maybe you are very quiet, but you are very diligent. You understand? Or you have a beautiful voice, and this is good. So every one of us has different things. Comes the Ben Ish Hai and it says, there are 3 ways of how a person shows their love to Hashem. Mahashava, Dibur, Ma'aseh. I will explain each one. The Ben Ish Hai says, true love. How, since we talk about making the wife happy, and the wife also needs to make the husband happy. It's not a one-way street. Okay? Let's clarify for Shalom Bayit purposes. How happy a wife becomes when suddenly, leave it, I'm going to use it now, thank you. Suddenly, the husband calls her in the middle of the day. But doesn't call her to see what's for dinner. Did your mother leave yet? Chas v'shalom, God forbid. Good morning and Shabbat Shalom, everybody watching. You call your wife to say, good morning, I was thinking of you. Can you imagine that? Don't start crying. You neither. I'm not able to watch you, not to worry. Can you imagine that the husband says to the wife, I was thinking of you? That's all. I love you. See you later. Have a great day. For her, that day, Mashiach came. I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you from professional experience. Or something that many people do. When you leave your office, you call your wife. Do you need anything from the street? What can I do to make your life easier? Okay? Now, being married to a wife is not far, and you need to know this, of our relationship with God. According to many holy rabbis, our Irat Shamayim is determined based on the level of Shalom Bayit. I know what I'm saying is heavy now. So, Rabbi, you're telling me that I have Shalom Bayit issues because my Irat Shamayim is deficient? Regretfully, I must tell you, yes. Find an area that spiritual improvement can be enhanced or activated. And guess what? For those who know me for years, and regretfully, issues of Shalom Bayit come often. It's not weddings or bar mitzvahs only. I wish it's only that. But many times, Shalom Bayit is also on the table. And then you talk to the couple. You talk to him, you talk to her. You ask questions. You allow them the opportunity to express themselves, what's affecting their marriage. And without fail, later on in the conversation, after giving them a chance to expose their concerns and worries, I always go through the spiritual level of relationship. How is family purity? How is your kashrut? How is your way of talking? And I told a couple not long ago, I said, I'll be honest with you. If you ask me what to do, I said, stop cursing. Stop cursing. People don't seem to understand, God forbid, that even something so simple as saying words, as I said yesterday at length, it has a detrimental effect on the person. So the Ben Ish Hai says that love is not only physical. Love is in the way the person speaks, in the way the person thinks. And I will repeat what I said before. Our biggest mistake, and I hope that no one does it, is to separate our relationship with Hashem and our Shalom Bayit. This is not me saying this. The Gemara said it 2,000 years ago. Ish be'isha zachu shechina sheruya benehem. Husband and wife have many goals in life. And bringing babies is not the only one. It's important, it's part of life, it's a continuity of the generations. But how can I make room for godliness in my home? And that's what the Pasuk says. Ish be'isha zachu. The husband is the husband and the wife is the wife. And I said this more than once. Many problems of Shalom Bayit come because the wife is the husband and the husband is the wife. I'm not saying physically, but emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically. I'm not saying that husband and wife cannot help each other. They should help each other. And if you don't do it, do it. But I think that the Gemara is telling us, the husband talking to the men, you know, the Pasuk said in today's parasha, Besimach et ishto. There is a Torah obligation for the husband to make his wife happy. Someone asked me before, Rabbi, why doesn't the pasuk say that the wife needs to make the husband happy? There is no such a pasuk. You know what? Because in marriage, what is the key element that must exist in a marriage? Love. If there is no love, if there is no feelings in a marriage, and it's only physical and a roof over the head and financially convenient, as somebody told me the other day, no, it's more convenient to stay married than to get divorced. So you understand why they sleep in separate bedrooms. You understand what I'm saying? God forbid, God forbid. Maybe I should write a book one of these days. Dramas of Shalom Bayit. But I'd rather not to. I'd rather say it. I think it's better. And I'd rather write a book of happy things. Anyways, it's on the to-do list. I don't know when, but Be'ezat Hashem. Love. In Hebrew, love is ahava. Numerical value, 13. The same value as the word ehad. Ehad means one. Husband and wife relationship is two halves becoming one whole. And that's the reason why the tradition is to give a ring under the chuppah. Many give a coin. But why the ring? Because the ring is two pieces of gold, soldered, polished, and became a circle. Now look at this. You have love. But the love, as I said before, is a two-way street. Love from the husband to the wife, love from the wife to the husband, and that's the reason why, look at the shape of the heart. I'm sorry if the heart doesn't look that good, but look at the shape. What do you see? The bottom, it's one. One and one. They unite into one. So now, if you have love, numerical value 13, love from the husband to the wife reciprocates, that's love again. What do you have? Which number? 26. The magic number of Hashem's name. And that's what the Gemara says. Ish be'isha. Husband and wife. Zahu. Each one does what they can for their marriage, for each other. Shekhinah sheruya venehem. God says, I like to move into your house. Can you imagine God moves into your house? We heard of mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, relatives, which all that needs to be thought properly with the limitations and distance. And I hope that no one is affected by what I'm saying. But can you imagine that God moves into your home? What does it mean God moves into your home? You have peace in your home. You have peace with your wife, peace with your children. And guess what? The more peace we have with the wife and children, the more blessing we come into our house. So the Ben Ish Chai continues. Love can be expressed through actions, through speech, and through thoughts. The speech, how do I speak to you? How do I speak to my wife? Because speaking nice to people and not speaking nice to the wife is a recipe for disaster. I'm not saying not to speak nice to people if you don't speak nice to your wife. But if there is one area of life that the Ben Ish Chai and many other Sefarim Kedoshim talk about this topic, it's the topic of speech. But the speech that the Ben Ish Chai is talking about is praying to Hashem, learning Torah, reading Tehillim, the thoughts, thinking of Hashem, expressing our gratitude to Hashem. And then it comes the ma'aseh. Now it comes the action. And the Ben Ish Chai brings fascinating sources. The concept of Let's see here, how can I explain this? The Ben Ish Chai writes that the way Hashem created the body, Mara, how do you say Mara in Hebrew? Gallbladder in English. Gallbladder? Kisamara. How do you say that in English? Right. Gallbladder. But I said the right thing. Baruch Hashem. So if you ever look at the picture of the gallbladder, it has like 5 polyps of 5 small things. Perhaps they don't look that big. Google search with a picture, gallbladder. And it says, there are 4 or 5. And it says each one carries a different mission in the digestive system of the person. And they need to be, the Ben Ish Chai says, properly stabilized. One is called Mara Shehora. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Okay? This is the gallbladder. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And it says on top of the liver. This needs to function properly for the proper functioning of the human body to begin with. And they are different. One is called the green, one is called the blue, etc. And if God forbid, the Ben Ish Chai says, and this is without sonogram and ultrasound, okay? He was written in the late 1800s. It says, if one of them doesn't function properly, it affects the body physically. And God forbid, could create even more things. Comes the Ben Ish Chai, and I apologize in advance to everyone. If we don't get today to Tomer Devorah, accept my apologies for that. I'm sure the Moshe Cordovero and the Ben Ish Chai are celebrating together in Gan Eden because they had a good spiritual bonding, without a doubt. And maybe they're listening to the class now, watching. I hope Ben Ish Chai and the Moshe Cordovero that I'm not saying nothing out of line, but they are talking and I'm just moving my lips. So comes the Ben Ish Chai, and it says, you know, sometimes they say, check the fluid in the ears, right? Because if that doesn't happen, there is some vertigo, right? God forbid. So the Ben Ish Chai says, the system of the person needs to function, listen to this, needs to function with the perfection that the scale needs to have. You know, the month of Tishrei, coming up Rosh Hashanah. What is the zodiac sign of Tishrei in English? Libra? No, Betula is Elul. Mosnaim. Mosnaim. Libra, right? Why it's called Libra? Libra comes from the Latin word librus, which means the opening of the books. Which books? Sifre Haim Umetim. Kodbenu Besefer Haim. You need to know, the zodiac is based on Torah concept. That it was diluted into the horoscope and all these things from astrology, because all matters in life need to have a source of Kedusha. Even idolatry. Where idolatry comes from? From the fact of believing in God. The horoscope or the zodiac, it's all Torah. So the mazal of this month, it's called in English virgin. Betula. What has to do virgin with Elul? Elul is a new page in the life of the person. Like never been with anyone. Can you relate to that? That's the reason it's called Betula in Hebrew. Betula is the highest level of marriage. that the girl is holy and pure. The next month, Libra, the books, opening of the books. What kind of year we are going to have? God willing, a great year. And that's what we say, Kodbenu besefer haim tovim. Write us in the books, in the Libra, in the scale, the good deeds and the negative deeds. Comes the Ben Ish Chai, and I'm going to try to put this in writing, and I'm going to just concentrate on this paragraph because I see it's already time to finish, but I think it is important, and it says, I'm going to try to draw it, and then I'm going to speak about it. I'm looking at the book quickly. It says the Ben Ish Chai, remember the olden days? Today I don't see it. But in the olden days, they didn't have digital scales in the groceries or in the supermarkets or in the fruits or vegetable stores. They had the scale hanging from a chain, correct? So comes the Ben Ish Chai and it says, listen to these words. The chain represents the letter Yod of Hashem's name, which makes a lot of sense, the shape. The pole, it's the letter Vav. And the plates, the letter He. So you have Yod, Ke, Vav, Ke. Hashem's name on the scale. Continues the Ben Ish Chai and it says that the Pasuk says, Mosne Sedek, Abne Sedek, Ani Hashem Elokechem. The Pasuk says, have the proper measurements of the scale, have the proper measurements of the weights, because I am God. And the Ben Ish Chai says, what has to do the concept of God on putting tomatoes on the scale? The Ben Ish Chai says, very simple. He says, you know what? Ki to'avat Hashem Elokecha kol oseh ele. Because it's despicable a person who insults God. To'ava in English means abomination. There are not too many sins in the Torah called abomination. Eating in Kippur is not an abomination. Eating bread in Pesach, both of them are serious sins. And they are obviously asur. And there are spiritual consequences. But they are not called abomination. What's called abomination in Judaism? Same gender marriage. Thank you. That's one of them. Another one, inappropriate business practices. Ki to'avat Hashem Elokecha. God says, you are insulting me. Why are you insulting me? Because I'm using the scale to hurt people financially. Continues the Ben Ish Chai, and it says, Hashem silecha aliyad yeminecha. The Ben Ish Chai finishes with one powerful sentence, and this will be the end of the class, Beli Neder, which I said Beli Neder because I may go in overtime, but I sense that some people are waiting for me to finish, so I will do that. L'shem Shamayim. The Ben Ish Chai says a pasuk that we know by heart. Hashem silecha. God is my shadow. Aliyad yeminecha. On my right hand. Chapter 121 of Tehillim. Shila ma'alo tesa einai leharim. At the end says that. What does it mean? The Ben Ish Chai says, Kedimion hasel ken hu. God is next to the person like the shadow is next to the person. What does it mean? I'm moving my hand now on top of the whiteboard. What do you see? In theory, you should see my shadow. Look at the hand. I put my hand on the tablecloth. What do you see? You see my shadow. Can I say to the shadow, leave me alone? I want to have personal time? No. the shadow goes wherever you go. Comes the Ben Ish Chai and it says, God is with the person constantly. And the Ben Ish Chai says, and I love this sentence, the Masheose Adam Lemata, Shabbat Shalom, whatever the person does in this world, it has davar kenegdo lema'ala. There is a mirror image in Shamayim. Hen betov, hen lehefech. If I'm doing something good now, I can imagine, based on this Ben Ish Chai, that now the Ben Ish Chai is giving a class in Shamayim. And next to him is Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, because he's sitting next to me now, and other Hachamim listening to the great Ben Ish Chai. And it says, don't minimize, and that's we'll finish, don't minimize the power of our actions, good or not good. And to finish the class in something positive, because I said not good, the Ben Ish Chai says, when it comes to measurements and volume, length, and weight, be'ayin yafa. Throw in an extra tomato. Okay, just give me $5. Don't be so exacting in a negative way. Be ayin yafa. And he brings different examples, but at this moment, I don't want to continue, because then he goes into the world of business, how transparent a person must be, and then he goes to the actions of verbal, hurting people verbally, and then he goes to how to deal with public property and how to be conscientious of people, even on the street. Even on the street, the Ben Ish Chai says that you are not allowed to put on the public domain dead animals or things which are detrimental to people. And that's the law of the land, by the way. The law of the land is your building or your house has a certain day of pickup by the garbage truck, correct? That is actually halakha. Because when you put things, especially things that smell, in a day which you were not given permission by the government, that there is, by the land, whatever, because there is a problem, the Ben Ish Chai says, especially in the concept of smell, which is the next topic of Tomer Devorah. Yesterday we spoke about the brain, we spoke about the forehead, and we finished the class with anger. The next topic, Sunday, time allowing, will be the ears and the nose and the mouth. And the Ben Ish Chai says that smelling bad smells is detrimental for the soul. That's why on Mosai Shabbat we say Borei Mineh Besamim. That's why according to the Kabbalah, Friday night you say Borei Mineh Besamim, because smell is for the soul. Smell is spiritual, not physical. When bad smell, you cannot pray. The door of the bathroom is open, you cannot pray. I'm going to tell you a secret. Technically speaking, you should not speak in the bathroom. Why not? Because we give strength to the negative forces that dwell in the bathroom because of the smell of the bathroom. Depends who you ask. If it's essential, if it's mandatory, yes. But I'm only bringing up to what extent even something so simple, a smell, it has a benefit or a detriment to the life of the person. I would love to continue, and we have what to say, Baruch Hashem, but I'm going to have rahamim, I'm going to have mercy, like God has mercy on us. So let's wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat. We'll see you later, and may be the zechut of the Ben Ish Chai, and all of the great tzaddikim should pray for each and every one of us, and we'll have a beautiful Shabbat and a wonderful year, and obviously the Geulah for Am Israel. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen be'amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Akashia Omer Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et Yisrael lefichach. Irba lehen Torah mitzvot shene'emar. Adonai hafez למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה וידיר, קדיש. אמין. אמין. ישם רבה מברך לעלם ולמעל מיה יתברך. אמין. אמין. יהי לנו. אמין. ברבע מהסנה.